You know, ladies and gentlemen, in this Saskatchewan Advantage budget, we also maintained royalty stability. Royalties for our resources, for potash and uranium, and for oil and natural gas. And here's why we chose to do that. And I'll focus a little bit on potash and broaden it out a little bit in a moment. The current royalty structure that we have in the province of Saskatchewan was implemented by the NDP just a few years ago when they were in government, supported by us, called for by the opposition Saskatchewan party. The reason that the royalty structure exists as it is this. Saskatchewan, now hear this, Saskatchewan has the highest potash taxes in the world. The next highest is the Kingdom of Jordan, and we're twice as high as them. We are 10 times or so higher than jurisdictions that have the other 50% of potash reserves that exist in the world. So the notion, the logic here is this: if we're going to attract new investment for companies to expand mines, maybe to build a brand new mine, we need to have some temporary incentives that will obviously eventually be earned and then we'll go back to the rates the way they were, but temporary incentives that attract that investment and those jobs to the province of Saskatchewan. We supported the changes years ago. We support them today because we need that kind of royalty stability. But the debate is raging, and it's going to rage over the next number of months. I can promise you that, as we get closer to the election. And I need to tell you this. Yesterday in the Melville Advance, there was an article on a nomination for our opponents that happened in that community, and the leader of our opponents was speaking there and advocating in his remarks, and it's reported in this article, for an 80% increase in taxes, in potash taxes. He said that if the companies didn't want to pay for that, actually I'll quote, if potash companies objected to the point of shutting down operations and leaving the province, that wouldn't pose a problem because Saskatchewan has mined potash before, referring to the old government Crown Corporation. In other words, nationalization. If they didn't like the taxes, if they didn't like what was happening, they'd leave and we'd nationalize the industry. There are certain things that belong in the 70s that should never come back. Polyester suits, disco, and nationalizing industries. Ladies and gentlemen, that kind of thing sends a chill over an investment climate that is literally today attracting the attention of the world. And I've been told and criticized for calling ideas of opponents, some of these kinds of ideas, crazy. So I'm not going to do that tonight. They're calling for royalty rate hikes in potash and uranium, sensitive enough as it is today, employing through Cameco 44%, I think, or more of First Nations and Aboriginal people in the north, and calling for reviews in oil and gas as well. We do not need the instability today. There is something going on that's very good for the province of Saskatchewan, that's giving us our momentum. It's not just resource strength, but certainly that's a part of it. And we don't need the instability we saw in Alberta. When they reviewed their oil royalties, it in fact gave us, in part, the Saskatchewan Advantage, and we need to keep it. We need to send a message that we'll expect a fair return. We're getting a fair return because right now our royalty structures are causing $11 billion in investment and thousands of jobs created and future tax revenue. That's good for you, it's good for the province, and we're not going back to policies that have failed us in the past.